Good morning to doctor and all my friends. Today I and my partners want to sharing about the new design idea on stationery blades in the. Before that, the idea of design comes from the problems of products. The designers may focus on the whole of problems that faced by end users. Therefore, our groups are running an observation of interviewee and small focus group. From the results, most of users use the wrong ways to break the unshaped belts. Also, we are finding that some people of those who do know the function of breaker. The injuries often happen when we using the stationery blades to cutting the soft things. There are some reasons of injuries that happens when we using the stationery blades. To conclude the injuries, we are using the wrong ways to use the stationery blade. To improve comprehension, we also immerse the stationery blades that are available in the market. There are many different brands, designs, and sizes of stationery blades in markets, but still many businesses that miss the nature of safe use. Accidents often happen in the blinks of fingers. We also study the user's complaint on the stationery blades they are purchased. We are able to obtain some complaints of look and shape of the stationery blades. This corresponds to the findings of our research to improve these products. In the last, we get the new idea to redesign the casings of stationery blades, especially focus on the parts of breaker. Stationery blades usually are used by students and office workers to cutting the soft things like paper, packages, and others. The objective of these studies is we need to minimize the injuries when use the stationery blade.
My name is Sri Vaishnavi Suresh. I'm going to present about the questionnaire Google Form survey. The method we use are questionnaire, Google Form survey to collect data for analysis and understanding of user needs of stationery blade, cutter blade. First of all, occupation and age respondents. Occupational categories of respondents. Figure 1 shows that the highest percentage of respondents are students with 87.8%, while the lowest are construction worker with 2.4%. Next is age group of respondents. Figure 2 shows that the highest percentage of respondents are 20 to 34 years old with 85.4%, and the lowest are 50 to 60 years old with 2.4%. In overall, there are a total of 42 responses for survey of problem identification for industrial design. The study shows that the most of respondents are students and lowest are construction worker. This is because our target audience is student and office worker. Therefore, the average age of response is 20 to 34. The next is type of cutter using and type of complaints. What type of cutters are mostly using? Figure 3 shows that the highest percentage of respondents for type of cutter are standard duty snap of utility knife with 50%, while the lowest are heavy duty snap of utility knife with 12.5%. This study shows that most of the customers are using standard duty snap of utility knife cutter. The next one is type of complaints. Figure 4 shows that the highest percentage of respondents complain about cause of injury with 29.7%, and the lowest are complaint about not performing the expected function with 5.4%. The bar chart above shows some of the problems that customers often face when using stationery products. Based on these results, there are many problems faced by customers such as design, function, and cause of injury. While the complaints are mostly cause of injury like sharp edges, unstable blade, weak safe locker of blade, and also uncomfortability of holder. The problem was highest with 29.7%, 11 people or 41 response stating that they were often injured while using stationery products. Hence, this large of numbers has proven that injuries often occur while using stationery products for cutting. The findings of this study will affect the study that we will conduct because one of the main purpose of this study is to reduce injuries that often occur. The next one is how long does cutter last? Figure 5 shows some of the respondents respond for the few days, few months, 1 year, more than year, few years but becomes rusty fast, 6 months, 5 months and long. From these studies shows that the same percentage of respondent with 15.8% for 1 year and more than 1 year. The next one is respondent suggestion. In order to avoid injuries, what will you suggest in terms of design to make the cutter blade safer to use? Figure 6 shows that 40 respondents suggest the idea of cutter design and provide idea to use the cutter blade safer. From this study, the requirements that the respondents suggested are the major suggests are a proper handle to ensure a secure grip, the edge of knife on top or cover with a thin layer of rubber or silicone to avoid injuries, avoid produce it in a very sharp way, cover up the blade, reduce the sharpness of blade, maybe can come up with non-slippery blade to avoid injuries, suggested using plastic like plastic lawn mower, blade grass cutter, and need a cover in front of the blades. That's all from me. Thank you.
Compilation of design requirements. So in this section we're going to discuss about the materials requirement, physical requirement, performance requirement, user requirements, and environmental requirements. So first of all, in the term of materials, to build the cutter blade with new design, for the body and blade breaker we will use microceramics, and for the blade we will use special alloy steel. So microceramics are made up of kind of nanomaterial zirconium dioxide which has high melting points, great hardness and strength, considerable durability, low electrical and thermal conductivity, chemical inerness. For the blade we will use special alloy steel. So alloying element in steel includes silicon, manganese, molybdenum, nickel, vitriol, and titanium. So when this blade is made up of special alloy steel, it has some advantages such as sharpness and rust prevention, toughness and resistance to brittleness, finer grains and easy grinding. After that, physical requirement, the blade breaker will combine with stationery blade. It weighs approximately between 100 to 115 grams. Both combination of microceramic technical to design the shape and casing of stationery blade can increase different level of endurance and touch. Part of blade breaker of stationery blade made up of microceramics, and user can avoid dangers to break the unshaped blade. In the term of performance, we have include four requirements that will be included once the product is redesigned. First of all, accuracy. So the user can feel the accuracy of cutting whenever they cut something thinner or thicker. The blade is exposed to larger and wider cutting zone. Secondly, durability. The blade and shell of the cutter blade is made with quality materials, as we say, microceramics, so it can be long lasting. Thirdly, finger friendly. Cutter blade handle style is designed at its best, so the user would not be hurt whenever they use it. At last, safe. It is strength, hardness, toughness, wear resistance, corrosion resistance, hardenability, and hot hardness will make this product long lasting with more safety. After that, user requirements. In the perspective for user, the requirements are given in the term of designing. So first of all, proper handle to ensure secure grip. Secondly, the edge of knives on top covered with a thin layer of rubber or silicone. After that, it will avoid produce it in very sharp way, and there will be a providence of cover to cover up the blade. Non-slippery blade. At last, environmental requirements. So our product are using the microceramic technical that can decrease the issue of environmental such as air pollution, garbage, fibers and others, because we are not using the plastic to design the casing of the stationery blade. Thank you.
Our target users are positioned as office employees and students. This is because students and office employees do not have other alternative techniques for breaking the printers, so they are at risk of being cut by the printers. However, other target audiences such as construction workers and industrial workers have their own skill or alternative product to break the printers. For costing, assuming that our company produces 1,000 printers, the direct cost is 250 for raw material and 100 for labor. Indirect costs are 300 for manufacturing, 250 for land and construction, and 100 for other expenses. The total cost of the product is 1,000 ringgit. Since the cost of producing 1,000 stationery printers is 100 ringgit, so the cost per unit of our company is 1 ringgit. For expanded pricing, we use cost plus pricing. It includes all costs, calculate the variable cost of the unit price product, and determine the price according to the target profit rate. We apply the standard 15% markup to all products. Calculate with a total cost of 1 ringgit per unit. The product price is 1 ringgit 15 cents.